Hey, fifth grade. This week for homework, I'm going to ask you to make 6 new vocabulary words. You'll see that the TMV I provided you with is much bigger than usual because these definitions are really big. So I wanted to give you all the space I could in order to be able to record them correctly. Now, you might be wondering, Mrs. P, why are we staring at a blank page? Well, that's because I just want to start off with a quick reminder. So we finished our mineral section of this unit, and we finished up our section on tectonic plates. And now we're moving into the section about rocks. And let me just remind you that minerals are not rocks. Rocks, though, are made up of different combos of minerals. So we've talked so much about identifying minerals and how minerals are made up of different elements. But rocks then are made up of different combos of those minerals. So I want you to think about that as we start to talk about the different categories of rocks. This is something you may have talked about before, but we're going to make these 6 new vocab words, and I think they're going to be due at the end of the week. Hold on, let me switch screens. Oh, there it is. Okay, very good. Okay, first word, rocks. Now remember, I would pause me at any time and just write down what you need to write down. You can even do this in chunks, so you could do a few each night if you want to do it that way, or get them all done at once. Rocks. Rocks are mixed mineral matter, that's not easy to say, that makes up the surface of Earth and other terrestrial objects. I'm wondering if you've done this route yet with Mrs. Gustafson. I'm not sure if you've gotten to Aqua and Terra yet, but keep an eye out for that one, okay? So pause if you need to pause, and when you're ready, move on to the next word. The next word will be igneous rock. So now we're going to talk about these 3 categories of rock, okay? Igneous rock is a category of rock formed when hot liquid rock, either lava, right, on the surface, or magma below the surface, cools into a solid. This is the kind of rock we call igneous rocks. We'll be talking about some specific examples. Like of course, I'm sure you know granite. Granite is an igneous rock. Then we have sedimentary rock. Notice this picture here, it's kind of key. Rocks form from layers of sand, soil, clay, gravel, and other sediment that build up in one spot over time. They make these layers and they get squeezed together to create, I think I'm going to add some arrows, to make this layered effect in the rock. I think last year in 4th grade you may have done a lab where you talked a little about erosion and you looked at sediment. So when things are broken down, right, eroded into smaller pieces, that sediment then can be formed into a new kind of rock squeezed together in layers. Okay, igneous rock, sedimentary rock. Don't forget, pause if you need. Please do visuals, and coloring them helps too. The last category of rock is metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rock. Rocks formed in chemical reactions where one type of rock is changed by pressure or heat, notice what's bold-faced here, into a new type of rock with different properties. Well, we know properties, right? Observable, measurable characteristics of matter. So this kind of rock actually is changed and created in a chemical reaction with pressure and heat. We'll talk about what kind of rock this will be in class. Then, of course, we have the rock cycle, the processes that form, break down, and reform rock from one category to another, so that our rocks can kind of travel and be in these different forms at different times. Okay, so we'll be looking at that a little bit more closely in class. You can also check it out a little bit more in your reader. Last one is weathering, which you may have talked about last year, I'm not sure. Weathering, you can see the word weather, the breakdown of rock into smaller pieces from exposure to wind, water, changes in temperature, and or biological forces. And there's 2 kinds of weathering, mechanical weathering and chemical weathering. We're actually going to be carrying out a lab about mechanical weathering in about a week. So we're going to get a chance to break down some of this rock. Okay, so you should have these 6 words done on your TMV with visuals, preferably colored, And I'm going to say that they are due on Thursday. If there's any issue, if you can't let me know what's going on, but I would think that this wouldn't be too hard to have done for Thursday. Okay? All right. See you back in class.